There's a quiet war happening right now, inside the very networks that connect us all. It's invisible to most, but it's a battle that's critical to how our entire world functions. Our telecom networks, the digital nervous system of modern society, are constantly under siege. Every year, the attacks get smarter, more sophisticated, and the stakes get higher and higher. So today, let's pull back the curtain on cybersecurity in the world of telecom. We'll explore why it's become one of the biggest national and corporate priorities, the new threats operators are facing, and the groundbreaking strategies emerging to keep our networks and, by extension, all of us safe. First things first, why is telecom cybersecurity so different? Well, telecom networks aren't like your average corporate IT system. They are vastly more distributed, incredibly complex, and deeply interconnected. A typical mobile network has thousands of cell towers, routers, core servers, and third-party systems, and every single one is a potential entry point for an attacker. Now, add in modern technologies like virtualization, the Internet of Things, and 5G network slicing, and the potential attack surface just grows exponentially. Here's the critical part: an attack on a telecom network isn't just about stealing data. It can mean shutting down services for millions, illegal eavesdropping on conversations, or even nation-state espionage. Think about it: whoever controls the network can, in theory, control communication itself. This is exactly why governments around the world now classify telecom infrastructure as critical national infrastructure, just as essential as our power grids or airports. So, what does this new threat landscape actually look like? Let's start with supply chain vulnerabilities. Telecom hardware and software come from a massive global supply chain with multiple vendors, integrators, and firmware providers. A compromised chipset, a malicious firmware update, or a hidden backdoor in a third-party module can go completely unnoticed until it's far too late. This is why many regulators are now enforcing trusted vendor lists and demanding rigorous audits of all equipment. Then there are the threats specific to 5G infrastructure. 5G introduces widespread virtualization, which means a huge part of the core network now runs as software. Software is incredibly flexible, but it's also vulnerable. Simple misconfigurations, unpatched apps, or insecure orchestration can open the door for a major breach. Plus, you have network slicing, which is fantastic for creating isolated, custom virtual networks, but it can be a double-edged sword. If those slices aren't perfectly isolated, a single compromised slice could give an attacker a gateway into others. And we can't forget about IoT and edge devices. The more devices you connect to a network, the bigger your exposure becomes. Billions of IoT devices, many of them cheap, insecure, and rarely updated, can be hijacked to launch massive DDoS attacks. Remember the Mirai botnet that took down huge chunks of the internet? That was just a preview of what could happen at a global IoT scale. And with edge computing moving data processing closer to users, you now have thousands of mini data centers scattered everywhere, each one needing consistent, robust protection. Finally, there's the human element. Insider threats and simple configuration risks are a huge deal in telecom. A single misconfigured firewall rule or a forgotten test interface left open can be all an intruder needs. Whether intentional or not, human error accounts for a massive portion of telecom breaches. Let's make this real with a few examples. In 2018, a major operator in Southeast Asia was hacked through a supplier's compromised login credentials. The attacker had access for months, silently stealing call records and user data. In another case, a European telecom company's DNS servers were hijacked to redirect user traffic, effectively taking over their customers' browsing sessions. More recently, some operators have faced sophisticated attacks on their signaling systems like SS7 diameter, which allow for location tracking, message interception, and financial fraud. The lesson here is that telecom attacks don't always make front-page news, but their impact on national security, business trust, and our personal privacy is profound and long-lasting. So, how do we fight back? Let's talk about modern defense strategies. The first and most important is zero trust architecture. Forget the old trust but verify model. In modern telecom, the rule is simple: trust nothing by default. Zero trust means authenticating every single user, device, and application before granting access, and continuously verifying their behavior. It also means segmenting everything to minimize the damage if a breach does occur. Next up is network observability powered by AI. With networks becoming this complex, operators are turning to artificial intelligence for help. Machine learning algorithms can spot abnormal patterns, a rogue data packet, a suspicious signaling flow, or unexpected latency in a network slice far faster than any human analyst ever could. These observability platforms are creating a kind of real-time digital immune system for the network. Supply chain security is also getting a major upgrade. Operators are enforcing much stricter compliance on their vendors, including demanding a software bill of materials, or SBOM, to trace every single component in their software stack. Some are even using blockchain to create unchangeable records of their supply chain. And we have to think about the future. As quantum computing gets closer, our current encryption methods could be broken in minutes. Telecom engineers are already starting to integrate post-quantum cryptography, new algorithms designed to resist quantum attacks, into their network protocols and authentication systems. It's all about future-proofing. Good old-fashioned smart design is also key. By isolating network segments, especially separating the control planes from the user data planes, and building in redundancy, you ensure that even if one part is compromised, the entire service doesn't collapse. Ultimately, security can no longer be an afterthought. It has to be built in from day one, a principle called security by design. Of course, this isn't just a technical problem, it's a geopolitical one. Governments are stepping in. Countries are establishing national cyber agencies and creating certification programs for telecom gear. The EU has its 5 Toolbox framework, which mandates risk assessments for all vendors. The US has its Clean Network Initiative. This wave of regulation is fundamentally shaping how operators design their networks and even who they are allowed to partner with. So what are the leading telecom companies doing right now? They're building specialized security operations centers, or SOCs. Tailored specifically for telecom environments, they're deploying AI-driven anomaly detection to monitor their core network layers. They are intensely training their staff on cyber hygiene and incident response. And they're moving toward automated patch management for all their virtualized components. Some are even collaborating across borders, sharing threat intelligence with their competitors, because in cybersecurity, collective defense is the only real defense. Looking even further ahead, what about 6 and beyond? Researchers are already in the early stages of designing 6G, and one of its founding pillars is security by architecture. We're talking about self-healing networks that can detect and isolate threats all on their own, with powerful encryption baked directly into the radio layer itself. Imagine a network that is both intelligent and self-defensive, constantly adapting to new attacks in real time. That's where we're heading. But until that day comes, the focus remains on tightening the security of today's systems, patching every blind spot, training every engineer, and doing everything possible to stay one step ahead of their attackers. Telecom networks connect billions of us, they power our economies, and they carry the very pulse of modern civilization. But they are only as strong as their weakest link. In this age of total digital dependency, securing our networks isn't just an option, it's existential. For every engineer, analyst, or policymaker watching this, remember, cybersecurity isn't just about defense. It's about trust. And trust is the true currency of our connected world. If you found this breakdown useful, be sure to subscribe for more deep dives into the future of telecom, 5G, AI, and the technologies that are quietly shaping our world. And let me know in the comments, what do you think is the single biggest cybersecurity threat that telecom operators face today? Thanks for watching.